Welcome on in. I'm Viv. This is Art with Viv, and the first thing we're going to do for our simple Christmas wreath is trace around something circular. I used a Creative Memories template type thing. You can use a saucer. You can use whatever round object you have to trace. Just for a guide, your circle's for a guide, and then take some masking tape and tape it across the center of your circle. Now you see I've got all that there. Then I've got a nice juicy berry color mixed up and a nice orange color, kind of a burnt orange a little bit. It's really called transparent orange, but it's a deeper type orange. I just like it. And I am just painting little circles, and I'm leaving a white dot to act as sort of like the highlight. I'm just letting a little bit of that paper shine through to be the highlight of the berries. Now this is just our first layer. We're going to do another layer on these berries. You don't have to be frou-frou with them. You don't have to get all excited. The main thing is just leave a little highlight. Make them, as round as you can. They don't have to be perfectly round. Berries aren't always perfectly round in nature. And then I group them in groups of 5, groups of 7, 1, 3, any odd number groups. That's how I'm grouping them together. I'm mixing the different berry colors, together. I'm doing some nice berry colors and some orange berries all together, just to give it a little bit of variety, and it looks a little more pleasing to the eye. Now you can use different color berries. You can use those pink peppercorn berries. Those would be really pretty instead of using orange and this sort of maroony berry color, this rosy berry color. You could use pink peppercorn with maybe a chartreuse green berry. That would be really pretty, but it's up to you. So the main thing here is just do little circles, leave a little bit of the white of the paper for a highlight, a little dot, and just follow your guide and group them accordingly, however you think it would look nice visually to group. The other thing is, I'm not going to show you that I paint every berry. I mean, you know how to paint a circle with a white dot in the middle. So we're just gonna let you enjoy some music, and I will be back shortly. I'm probably going to show you just the bottom half of the wreath for most of this painting, just show you how to do the bottom half. It's the same to do the top half. And if you're enjoying this, then don't forget to hit the like, maybe leave a comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it greatly. Yeah, that would be great. I would love that. Now I do want you to remember that watercolor dries a little bit lighter than when it's wet, so just keep that in mind, but don't worry, we're going to do another layer to give this more dimension after it dries. And if you're not confident with your drawing skills or your color mixing skills and not sure what's what, then you could join my Patreon. The Dabbler's $5 a month. You'll get the supply sheet, an outline drawing, and a color mixing guide, and that is at patreon.com/artwithviv. Now my lowest tier is $3 a month, and you'll get a lot of goodies in that too, a lot of coloring pages and some work pages and some just different things like that. There is also a free option where you will get coloring pages and occasional tips and things like that. So it is a really good deal for what you pay, and I would love to see you over there. That would be fantastic. I will link that just in case you're interested. I'll link that below for you. So now we are finishing up this top. We did it very similar to the bottom. We just grouped the berries together how we thought it was pleasing to the eye. We varied the colors between the orange and the rosy berry color, left that white dot for the highlight. And then we're going to go back to the bottom berries once we get our top berries in. Now they are completely dry, and what I am going to do is I'm going to wet the dry berries and then just sort of touch some color into the wet spot, and that'll give it a little bit of a shadow and give it a little bit of dimension. So that's how we're going to add some shadow and dimension to the already dry berries. So I just put in a little bit of water and then I touch that darker berry color. You see how I'm just putting clear water onto the berry. I'm not covering the whole berry with the clear water. I'm just putting a little spot of clear water and then going in and getting the darker color of the paint and dropping it in. That way it'll have a soft, fuzzy border. It won't have hard lines. It'll look really pretty. It is called the wet on wet technique. So we're wetting that and just dropping in some paint. And that's all you're going to do to darken up these berries, give them a little bit of dimension, make it look like they have some shadow in there, and just really make it a lot more visually pleasing. So that's all you're going to do there. I'm going to let you watch a little bit and I'll be back shortly. So once you get your shadows in there, again, you're just wetting the berry, the already dried berry, with some clean water and then dropping paint into that clean water. Don't get nervous about it. Don't get too frou-frou about it. We don't need to get our panties in a wad. We're going to be okay. Once you get that done, I've mixed up some blue and brown to make my stems and to make the little stems that come out of the ends of the berries, and I'm just randomly putting them in different spots, and I'm using that circle as my guide. And you can see I've erased some of the circle so that it's not so dark, and I'm just using it as a guide for my berry stems, and I'm just connecting my berries and adding a few little stems coming out of the top of the berries here and there, maybe a few empty stems, maybe the berry has fallen off, just to give it a little bit of variety. And I'm painting right up to that masking tape. Then I've mixed up some green, and I'm going to start adding in some foliage. And the first thing I'm going to do is little pine boughs, little pine tree branches. And all I'm doing is I just paint a line, and then I do tiny little lines on both sides, starting a little smaller at the top, and then the needles get a little bit larger toward the bottom. And that's how we're going to handle the pine branches. And you can mix sap green, maybe a little hunter's green to make it darker if you want. You can just use sap green if you want a lighter green. It's up to you. I think I did put just a tiny bit of hunter's green in this, but that's completely up to you, however you want your pine boughs to look. And again, I'm not going to do the whole wreath because it's pretty repetitive, but when you do this, it is meditative. It relaxes you, it calms your nerves. So I really enjoyed doing this little painting, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. And I'm just trying to fill in some of the spaces, some of those empty spaces with my foliage. Now I've got a little green gold mixed up, and I'm just doing tiny little leaves, just little pointy ovals. And I am going on either side of an imaginary branch, and then you can come later and put the branch in, or you can paint the branch first and then do the leaves on either side of it. I didn't even paint the branch, I'm just imagining it in my head and just doing those little ovals on either side. Now I painted the branch so you could see the little stem, and then I'm just putting those little ovals on either side. You can put them exactly across from each other. You can offset them so that one's above the other on either side. It's up to you. They're yours. They're your little foliage. You do it the way that you want to do it. And again, we're not going to do the whole, I'm not going to make you sit through the whole process of me painting every little leaf. It's a pretty basic, straightforward process. It's just you can draw your stem and then just do little pointy ovals at the tip and then on either side, and just keep going, just filling in those spaces. You can overlap some if you want, overlap them into some of your other elements there. That would be pretty. But we are doing something just super simple that anybody, any beginner can do this. There's nothing hard about this whatsoever. So I'm really enjoying doing this one. So here we are, we're just about finished. We are going to skip ahead to where I've finished the top. I've just filled in the top with some of those beautiful bright green leaves. And now I'm just getting some aqua green, just pure aqua green off of my palette. And I'm just going to start filling in some of those spaces with some dots. Now you can leave it like it is. You don't have, these dots are just optional. I just wanted a little extra, more of a bluey color, a blue-green color in there to really set off that orange of those orange berries. So I'm just painting little tiny dots in clusters. These could be like juniper berries. Juniper berries are that nice blue-green color. Or they could just be dots. They can be whatever you want. Or you can skip this part. Totally optional. And again, it's your painting. You do what you think looks good. This is just a little guide for you. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to let you watch as I fill in some more, and I'll be back shortly. So once you get all of your little dots in there filled in however you like them, you can remove that not masking tape. Well, yeah, it's masking tape. I'm thinking of masking fluid too. But you can remove your tape. And what I did was I printed out Merry Christmas onto some printer paper because everyone knows my actual handwriting sucks. So I went ahead and printed that out. I measured it, put it in there where that masking tape was, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cover the back with some pencil, just a regular number 2 pencil. I'm going to cover that in. Then we're going to tape it to our paper and trace around it, and that's all we're going to do. It's just an easy way to make your own graphite type paper, and it's, you know, so simple and cheap. So now we're just going to put that in there. We're going to tape it down wherever we want it, and then we're going to trace around the Merry Christmas. And you can use whatever font you would like if you have access to different fonts on your computer, whatever you want. I just chose this one. I thought it looked festive and it kind of matched the playfulness of the wreath, the sort of informality. It's not a formal wreath, it's kind of an informal wreath. So I went with this font, but you could use any font you want. And then I'm just going to trace around it, and then once I get it traced onto my sketchbook here, onto my watercolor paper, and this is 140-pound watercolor paper in my sketchbook, then I am just going to color it in. Now, I colored mine in with black marker. You can trace it and color it with one of the colors that's actually in your wreath, like you could use that deep berry color or an orange or a green. I just went with black. You could also go with a metallic gold. That would be really pretty. Whatever paint you want, whatever color you want, whatever kind of markers you have, it's totally up to you. I just stayed with black. I wanted that to stand out, but I think I would also like to try it with maybe some metallics the next time, or I might do this again and just do metallics, the metallic for the Merry Christmas instead of the black, but again, totally up to you. So now I'm just going to get a waterproof fine liner, and I'm going to trace around my Merry Christmas, and then I am going to color it in. And that's all there is going to be to that. And I'm trying to be careful because gosh knows I have got terrible handwriting. My handwriting's so bad. I'm embarrassed. I hate for people to see my natural handwriting. It's so raggedy. I'm just taking my hoo-hoo, however you say it, my fine liner, brush pen, and just darkening that in, coloring it in. And you could use this as a Christmas card. You can make it a little bit larger, frame it. It could be a nice Christmas decoration, especially if you used a different color than black for your Merry Christmas font. It could be something really pretty. You could add some glitter to it. This could be used in a whole lot of different ways. You can make it a little bit smaller, cut it out, put a hole in the top, run a ribbon through it, and you have a little paper decoration for your Christmas tree. So that, yeah, there's different things you can do with this. It can be adapted to, but it is so simple. Beginners can do it. Anyone can do it. And yeah, I have really enjoyed doing this. We're just going to get that last little bit colored in. And I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Check out my Patreon where you can get the outline drawing and the color mixing chart as well as the supply list. So thank you so much, and I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. And a shout out to all my patrons. I could not do this without y'all. Thank you.